Welcome to Stock Talk. This is your host, Scott. Hope you've had a good week of trading. I've kind of out of the pocket last few days. Was having some company in town, so was not able to get on here to make any videos. Did make a few trades last week and made one today as well. So we're going to talk about that as we look at our portfolio. And if you have not subscribed, go ahead and click that subscribe button. If you like the videos, click the like button as well. But let's go ahead and take a look at our portfolio. And here's a portfolio. As you can see, a lot of red today. The markets were red today. NASDAQ especially was down. Looks like the futures are up right now. That's good. Maybe we'll start out with green tomorrow. But got a couple green ones here. You can see, and our big green one here was NVAX. Of course, we'll talk about that as we get started. We're going to take a look at Bitcoin real quick. Bitcoin has it did make a little climb a little bit last week, and then it's trying to pull back a little bit today. As you can see here, the 5-day chart, and we take a look at this one because this ties to our HUT stock that we watch. But you can see here that it's kind of right there. Got it up to 49, actually got up to 50, I think it was, right in here, pretty close on Monday, and then it fell back down, and it's 49's been the pretty much the high level, and you can see the lows here about 45, 46. So, and we're down to 47 now, so we'll see how it does tomorrow and this weekend. It seems like on the weekends this thing likes to pick up for whatever reason, and then during the week it seems to sell off. So, but right now you can see it's in the red, which that affects our HUT, and we'll talk about that. Moderna, I have Moderna on here because I've just been watching that one to kind of keep an eye on how that relates to NVAX. And as you can see today, Moderna was red and NVAX was green. So no tie-in today. It was all NVAX strength today, and the market was down as well. So we made some good gains, even though we had a down market, and the vaccines are evidently off as well. All right. So let's take a look at that 5-day chart on Moderna. And let's see here. You do see a nice little run up this week, though. So it just took a little breather today. And we'll take a look at the 5-day chart on NVAX when we get to it. CLSD up today. Let's take a look at the 5-day chart on that one. This is another biomed. We bought this one. We have very few shares of it. We bought it for a pop. We haven't got the kind of pop we wanted yet. But you can see here it's pretty flat for the week. Nothing really to brag about, nothing to lose there. So we're not worried about that one right now. Of course, everything's pretty much about our NVAX, but let's take a look at these others. HUT, Bitcoin miner, has been on a downward trend with Bitcoin. Let's take a look at the 5-day chart here. 5-day chart is on a downward trend as well. So we did add to this one a few weeks ago. I think I'll be adding to it pretty soon. Probably add some more to it. So just building up a position in that one. We think that's going to be fine at some point. NVTA, we bought this one I think in the low 20s. And so it's been down ever since. It's just following the market. Everything's kind of following the markets on these pullbacks. So there you see a little downward trend as well. Red days in the market, you're going to have red days on these things. There's no escaping it hardly. And here's NVAX. NVAX, even though we had a red day, had a really good day today. You can see a nice chart. You could have made a good trade today. The range was 175 to 197, and we did make a pretty good trade today. We traded at 187 at some point during the day, and then we ended up selling it at 191. So made $4 a share on that quick trade, and was able to pocket some money. And nice little day. So we enjoyed that. Now we did trade this a little bit last week as well. Bought some on the 8th for 181. Didn't make much on that. Sold it in after hours for $1 more. so we didn't make much on that, but we did make, a little bit of money. Then we bought it the next day on the 9th, and we traded it. No, we did not trade it. We bought it at 179.50, and then it fell down to 177.87. We bought it again, but we were not able to trade out of it in the after hours because it never got back above 179.50. So we just held on to it during the after hours and just held on to it for now. We still have those shares. But we did make a good little trade today, so we're happy with that. You can see here on the 5-day trend for NVAX, it was pretty flat for 4 days, and today we had that good pop. So let's go ahead and let's go back a month on this one here. You see here we had this pop the other day, and then it just kind of held that for a day or so, and then it sold off, and then we've been in that little pocket there. So we did get back up above this peak that we were at last week, and so now we're in the 190s. I think we got up. Yeah, today was 197.99. That's a pretty good little trend. Now let's take a look at why this happened here. So let's pull this article up. What happened? Shares of NVAX were rising 4.2% higher this morning, and climbing as much as 7% earlier in the day. And the gain came after the company announced that its partner, Takeda Pharmaceutical, has filed for approval of Novavax COVID-19 vaccine in Japan. So if you click continue, we can see this here. So they filed for the approvals of COVID-19, and it says the Japanese government will buy 150 million doses of the vaccine if it wins approval. Okay, and Novavax is also on track to file for U.S. authorization by year end. So, got a little news on couple different things there today. Again, this is the same type of news we've been getting. It's not the kind of news that we really want, but it did affect the stock price today, and it did climb pretty good today. So we'll take that. But these are just, these are promises if something's approved, and but we've got a lot of those out there right now. We've got a lot of filings out there, and so that's always a good step. You got to make that step before you get approved. So we're glad to see that they're doing that in Japan as well. And they've got several things out there now that they've filed for, and we're just waiting for some of those big ones to come back, like the UK, Australia, EU, those type of things. So hopefully, and just some of the research I've been doing, it seems like a lot of folks think that's going to happen next week. A lot of chatter about that right now. We'll see if that happens or not, but you can expect this. If it doesn't happen, you'll see things sell off a little bit probably as well. As long as they keep the news coming, it will have a tendency to go up. If the market goes up, it's liable to go up with the market. But today we had a really good showing where it did go up. It wasn't worried about the market, and it wasn't worried about the other vaccines. So it did its own thing today, and that's what we expect it to do when these approvals come out. It doesn't matter what's going on. Once these approvals come out, we're going to see this thing go up. And we're in good shape. We're in the 190s. I'd like to be over 200 when we get those kind of news, but it can really run when it gets that news, and that's what I'm expecting. I do expect before the end of the year, hopefully, that we'll see that a lot of that news come in, and we'll see. And of course, we've only got 15 more days, 2 weeks that we can get this data in. But if it comes in and it starts coming in several different countries, I expect this thing to be up above 250 again. Hopefully, getting on to new highs, which is above 330 or so. So, but that could happen. It may not. It depends on whether the news is baked in or not. And I don't think it is, because we've seen it run that high before without that kind of news, not even close to that kind of news. So let's just wait and see how it goes. But we'll just see. It could be that shows up before we know it. So that's what I'm hoping for. Uh, Going to be trading it in the meantime. If it takes a little pullback tomorrow, we'll probably try to buy some shares, just depending on how it's acting. Uh, Go back to the day's chart, and you'll see here it did go up, pulled back a little bit, up, pulled back a little bit, and this is that normal lunchtime area where it pulls back, and then when it's about 12 o'clock our time is when we usually see when it starts to get a little strength, and it did have a little strength today, and then it around that 2 o'clock hour, it just kind of pulled back a little bit, and then it took off towards the close. But the high was right in here. The high was about 210, so at 210 today. But it did close nice and pretty close to the high, which the high was almost 198. So good volume, normal volume, nothing major to speak of. So we like it. We like it a lot when it does this kind of thing here. And when you got a lot of shares, that's a lot of fun. So, but we got a long way to climb. We are sitting pretty good on the ones we're holding. As you can recall, I did sell these trades I'm making. It's first in, first out. So some of these shares that are going out are the more expensive ones, so they're actually taking a loss, even though I'm making $4 a share on a trade. It's actually selling a higher price share because it's first in, first out. And so you're really building up a loss right now. But we're holding, what we're holding is about, I think we're 18, 19% up on what we're holding, which is a lot of shares. And we've got some options in this as well. And the options are actually in the green as well. So everything's lovely right now with NVAX, especially if it keeps going up. But we're doing good, and we like that. So keep an eye on it. Just watch this one this week and see how it does tomorrow. And hopefully it will end the week strong. But tomorrow is Friday, and you know what happens on Friday. A lot of times people want to cash out their winnings. So NVAX, we'll just keep an eye on that one. Tilray was down. It's been down, been on a downward trend. Let's take a look at the 5-day chart on it. There it is. Pretty much down every day, it looks like. So that one is really not doing us any favors. But we'll just hang on to it. That's what we do when they're in the red. We just hang on to them until they turn green. And sometimes it takes time. It may take a year or two. But we've got time to wait. So there you go again. Here's another one. This is our Nikola, and it's downward trend as well. So these are kind of stuck in a bad way, and we'll just have to worry about them when, later on. I may come up with a game plan for that later on this next year. What I'm hoping to do, I'm hoping to be able to get out of all this NVAX stuff before the year's over with, and we'll be sitting at a really good level for the end of the year. We're at a pretty decent level now, so we're happy with where we're at as far as that goes. I believe overall, if you count the cryptos that I have and the other options and things like that, I think I'm probably beating all the markets still. As well as cash levels, we're sitting at about 32% cash. So we got dry powder if need be. I would think that we're going to see a pullback starting whenever they start upping some interest rates next year. You can bet this market's going to pull back, and that's when we really want to have a lot of dry powder because we want to just kind of buy into some things as the market pulls back or as it bottoms on a pullback. We haven't had a good pullback in a long time, so it's due. So, but when it comes, who knows? A lot of people have been waiting for a long time for a really good pullback, and we got that one when COVID hit, but that didn't last long at all. And that's the way it is a lot of times when you have these pullbacks. So that's why it's so important to have this dry powder and that cash on the side, because when it happens, you need to take advantage of it and don't shy away from buying a market that looks terrible, because that's where your bargains are. All right. Well, I hope you have a good rest of your week. I hope tomorrow closes out the week strong for you. I'll try to get back on track next week, and maybe have a video Tuesday and then maybe one on Friday. Uh, but with the holidays, I can't promise anything because we are going to be busy for the holidays. But we'll try to at least get one out a week. Hopefully, get back on schedule. All right. Again, if you have not subscribed, go ahead and click this button right here and subscribe. And I appreciate you watching the videos. Have a great night. Bye.